Hi, this is the Timekeeper orientation for the Arkansas High School Mock Trial Competition. The purpose of this orientation is to provide timekeepers a brief overview of their duties. If you are a timekeeper, you must watch this video before competition starts. Nothing we're asking you to do is difficult. However, we want you to be familiar with the basic rules of competition so that you are fully informed. Each team must have a timekeeper. If you do not have a timekeeper, then you can still compete in our competition. However, you are stuck with your opponent's timekeeper regarding keeping time. Each timekeeper needs a stopwatch, an official timesheet, and time cards with the times listed on the screen. The time cards can be index cards or anything that is suitable for keeping time. However, you are limited to the time cards that are listed on the screen. You cannot create cards with any additional intervals. Your job is to fairly and accurately keep and report the time during trial presentation and during any disputes, if any. Most trials won't have any disputes, but we'll talk about that later. You must remain neutral during trial. This means that you may not communicate with your team during any part of the trial, including any recesses, except to display the cards showing the time remaining and to indicate how much time is remaining during a particular part of the trial. While you are a timekeeper, your role is to keep time. That is it. During the trial, timekeepers need to sit together. If the room has a jury box, then you can sit in the jury box alongside the judges. Otherwise, just make sure that you are sitting in a place that is in full view of the teams and the presiding judge. You need to sit together. Why? Because you and the other timekeeper will be comparing times at the end of each phase. And as mentioned earlier, both the teams and the presiding judge need to see your time cards. The time limits are mandatory, but under Rule 4.7, the presiding judge has the sole discretion to grant time extensions. If an attorney continues without the permission of the presiding judge, then they do so at their own peril, as the judges can take off points if a team goes over time. But again, remember that your job is merely to indicate how much time is remaining. The time increments for each of the phase of the trial are as follows. The opening statements, both teams get 5 sides. For direct and, if any, redirect examination, each team gets a total of 25 minutes. For cross and recross examination, a total of 20 minutes. And then closing arguments are also 5 minutes per side. Unused time does not carry over. So if a team only uses 2 minutes for its opening statement, they don't get the other 3 minutes elsewhere in a trial. They still only get 25 minutes for direct, 20 for cross, and 5 for the closing. Also, pretrial motions and other matters before the opening statement are not included in the time allotted for opening statements. The time for the opening statement should begin when there is the actual opening statement. Time runs continuously from the beginning of the act until it's over. You ought to be looking for something similar to plaintiff rest, or nothing further, or pass the witness, or some other verbal cue that time is done. You should only stop the clock for objections, questions from the judge, and the administering of the oath if the judge does it before each individual witness. However, time will continue at all other times, and that includes for the introduction of any exhibits. Because there are 2 of you, you should be independently showing time cards based on your timing. Hopefully, they're going to be pretty close. After each phase, you should compare times, and if there is a material difference, inform the presiding judge. Now, a material difference is defined as a difference of more than 15 seconds. If the difference is less than 15 seconds, do not worry about it. Also, if there is a time dispute, be sure to bring it to the attention of the judge during the trial. No time disputes are permitted after the trial is concluded. If there is a disagreement regarding the time, the presiding judge will resolve the dispute, and the presiding judge's ruling is final. If there is a dispute, be sure to synchronize your stopwatches accordingly in compliance with the judge's ruling. You have a limited role after the trial as well. First, you have a limited role if there is a dispute over whether the team has violated the rules. Now, this is only going to be necessary for inside the bar disputes, and it's only going to be necessary if the presiding judge determines that a hearing is needed. If you are used for this time, then each side is limited to 3 minutes and you will time them as normal. You will also time the post-trial comments and critiques by the judges. Judges have 10 minutes to provide comments to each team, and you will time them as normal. Now, to be honest, the rules say 10 minutes. A lot of judges go over. If they go over, that's fine. Just let them know that their 10 minutes is up, and that'll be it. Don't take offense if they decide to go over. So, thank you again for watching this orientation. If you have any questions about your role as a timekeeper, then email them to the mock trial coordinator and they will be answered promptly. Thank you and have a great mock trial competition.